Hey, I want to talk to you about China's dictatorship undermining our democracy. Just so many different parts of the democratic establishment. But look at this first. I wonder if you've ever seen this meme on Facebook or Twitter. That's Fort Denison, which is in Sydney Harbor in Australia. There are three pictures over 130 years suggesting just a few inches of sea level rise in more than 100 years. Here's another one. There's a lot of versions of this meme. Here's another shot. It's pretty clear, and I find it convincing. It's surprisingly hard to find this meme if you search for it, actually. I went to Google, which was probably my first mistake, and the first 10 items are actually rebuttals to the meme. You can't find the meme, but the first 10 things you see are, it's false, it's false. Well, let me read what's supposedly false before you tell me it's false. Can I make up my own mind? Let me click on some of the links. This is from the Australian Associated Press. AAP FactCheck, trusted, accurate, and impartial. Yeah, if you have to tell me that, I'm pretty sure it's not true. Here's what they wrote in their FactCheck. Fort Denison pics, no indicator of sea level rise. Hey guys, don't believe your lying eyes. Sea level is no indication of sea level. You have to understand that. Surely you believe in science, right? Here's the Independent, which doesn't really live up to its name, does it? Sydney sea level image spread by climate change deniers debunked. It is not possible to gauge sea level rise simply by comparing two images of a location side by side, experts said. Oh, is that what the experts said? Okay, well, I better stop doing that then. Here's the Associated Press. Photos of water at Sydney Harbor Fort do not refute sea level rise. Now, refute is sort of a matter of opinion, actually. But AP is doing a fact check saying, do not believe in that, people. That is wrong to believe that. Here's Reuters. They're the worst. It is not possible to gauge sea level rise simply by comparing two images of a location side by side. Experts told Reuters, despite claims being made online. And here's Snopes, the original left-wing fact checkers. As we have previously reported, these types of oversimplified memes are meant to discredit science. They're meant for that? Are you a mind reader? Can you tell me what was in the mind of the people and what they're meant to do? And isn't science a process? It's not a point of view or an ideology or a person, doesn't it? Isn't science meant to be challenged all the time and it's always improving? Here's PolitiFact. You get my point here. No, two photos don't reveal sea levels, don't prove climate change is a hoax. And then they say, if your time is short, water's edge photographs don't show changes in sea level over time. Global sea levels are rising and climate change is the primary reason. They don't show what you think they show, but just trust us, okay? Just trust us because we're called PolitiFact. And this is what is a little bit dark about this. The post was flagged as part of Facebook's efforts to combat false news and information on its newsfeed. Read more about our partnership with Facebook. They'll tell you how to think, and they'll tell you what to think. Here's USA Today. Boy, are they concerned about this photo. I mean, I think this photo must be quite powerful if they're so terrified of it. But the claim is false. The pictures of the meme don't demonstrate a lack of sea level rise over the claimed period of time. The water line at the harbor fluctuates daily due to changing tides, and the photos don't include any information about the tidal stage at the time the photos were captured. So you don't know that they're false, is what you're saying. Your theory is that the first photo might have been misleading because of tides or whatever, or that there were different tide phases, but they don't know that. They're the ones cooking up conspiracies. They're the ones with the unproven theories. Really weird. But this is what is served up also positively. If you Google that, it's on Kids News. Digital pictures of warmer worlds show water reaching landmarks. That's right-winger Rupert Murdoch and his News Corp propagandizing fear to children. So this is kosher. This will be in the first 10 results. Oh my God, the Sydney Harbor is going to be completely flooded. Coasts everywhere will be flooded. That is scientifically valid for sure. And that won't be fact-checked. We've learned that fact-checkers are funded by the Pentagon, which I think is really creepy, and the Secretary of State, basically America's foreign ministry. That's really weird that the Pentagon, which is supposed to be fighting bad guys in other countries, is fighting ideas in American and Canadian elections. It's really weird in Canada here too. Recent Twitter files written by Matt Taibbi demonstrate this. We know that at Rebel News we were fact-checked by the U.S. Department of Navy, by military contractors at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. It's so weird. And the only way I can explain that, I don't think anyone from Rebel News has ever even been to Arkansas, is it was probably just a quid pro quo done for Canada. Trudeau probably didn't want to be seen getting Canadian spies to spy on us. So he probably said to America, can you spy on Rebel News? And we'll spy on some Americans and we'll do each other a favor and not break our own laws that way. Oh, and here's, speaking of spies, here's CSIS, Canada's Security and Intelligence Service. Story in the CBC, of course. Climate change is posing a serious threat to Canada, and BC in particular, Intelligence Service says. Significant parts of the province could be lost to rising sea levels, according to CSIS. Oh, okay, so you sent out your spies, and this is what they spied. You got some secret sources, some secret documents. Canada's spy agency says climate change is threatening the nation's prosperity and security and has identified British Columbia as a region of particular concern. A newly released analysis by the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS, that was prepared in April 2021 and only recently disclosed to the Canadian press, spells out several concerns presented by global warming. They include looming threats to water and food security, Arctic sovereignty, and coastal security, the latter of which could greatly impact British Columbians. According to the report, rising sea levels could cause irretrievable loss of infrastructure and even entire communities, with the potential to destroy significant parts of the westernmost province. So that photo of the fort in the Sydney port, that was disinformation. But this insane fear-mongering that entire communities will be swallowed up, that's just good spycraft. And by the way, I don't think food is at risk because of global warming. The warmer the temperature, the better crops grow. I think that it's because of carbon taxes or Trudeau's new scheme of nitrogen taxes on farmers. And in Canada, the price of food is, double that in the United States when you're talking about milk and butter and cheese and poultry and eggs because of our cartels. If you actually cared about food security, you would get rid of these marketing boards and cut the price of those staples in half. And I will believe any of this is a threat when celebrities and politicians stop buying homes on the sea, like Barack Obama's gorgeous pad in Hawaii and Al Gore. Or when Trudeau stops being Canada's single largest CO2 emitter from all his private jetting. That same CSIS that was terrified of the truckers is telling us they're terrified of global warming. So we know what they've been busy doing instead of countering Chinese spies. They're worried about the truckers. They're worried about global warming. That was an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. I'm Ezra Levant. Every weekday, I do a monologue about the topic of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest either in studio or via Skype. And then I read your mail, whether it's fan mail or hate mail, which is sometimes even more interesting. This is on our premium service, though, called Rebel News Plus. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. It's $8 a month or less if you buy a whole year in advance. You get my show every weeknight, plus Sheila Gunn Reid's show every week. It's called The Gun Show. It's pretty amazing. You know, we rely on you because we do not take a dime from the government. In Canada, that makes us almost unique. So please help us out and help yourself to some great journalism at rebelnewsplus.com.